Welcome back. So we have seen that Informatica PowerCenter is a data warehousing or ETL tool. So obviously you have to understand what is data warehousing, what is ETL. Of course, we have seen many videos on data warehousing, the tools that we are using for data warehousing or ETL and what happens during an ETL process. So if you still don't know data warehousing or ETL, I would request you to spend some time analyzing or seeing the videos on data warehousing or ETL in our playlist. However, I would like to have a quick overview about data warehousing. So when we talk about data warehousing, we should understand about database and what's the difference between database and a data warehouse. So we understand that a database system or DBMS stores data in the form of tables and which uses an entity relationship model and focuses on asset properties, and they use transactional or operational requirements. They fulfill the operational requirements. However, when it comes to a data warehouse, it is a separate form of DBMS. It stores data, huge amount of data, which is typically collected for multiple heterogeneous data sources, and they undergo certain transformation, and they are stored in big analytical databases, not operational database, analytical databases. It could be Azure Synapse, it should be BigQuery, it should be Snowflake or SQL Server. Then that can be distributed for reporting purposes, analytical purposes, and data mining purposes, or for any LOB systems. So that is data warehouse. So you know the database is a transaction system. Data warehousing is an analytical system. So going further, we can see the data warehouse inputs sources are heterogeneous. Now it could be CRMs, it could be ERPs, it could be finance systems, CMS systems, or other systems. It can also come from external services like using APIs, customer portal, supplier portal, staff portal, and of course, everything is controlled by business process automation or maybe using automated process, bringing all these heterogeneous data into a data warehouse. Now you can imagine the size of the data that comes into any data warehouse, since it is coming from different isolated systems. Okay, that's data warehouse. Then why do we need a data warehousing tool? That question also we need to answer. So looking at data warehouse architecture in more details, we have the sources. I already mentioned the sources are heterogeneous. They are all operational systems. They come from external sources, and the format could be, or the data stored could be anything, like it could be Excel sheet, it should be CSV files, it should be Oracle, it should be SQL, MySQL, it could be PostgreSQL, anything it can be, because it is representing different applications. Then they are all brought to a central location, which is again called a staging area. Okay, so data brought as is to staging area. Then it may go through an ODS. It is again operational data store. Then when you are during the process of building the data warehouses, this may undergo data quality and master data management modules that is possible. Again, it may be using some tool, like actually in this diagram you see it is using SSIS, and here comes the data warehouse. The data warehouse, we put everything in a one bucket, and from there, this is data is shared to data mart. I think there is a new concept that we know. If you don't know, we will explain what is a data mart very soon. So data mart is focusing on certain areas, certain departments, certain business. Only data focusing for that particular business will be segregated and put into a data mart. I will show more details in the later stage. Then from there, it can be formulated as a cubes or maybe the data sets or views or reports, and that will be shared for your analysis purpose or reporting purpose or sharing purpose. So this is how the database architecture works. And since we will have to have some ETL tools. Yeah, where do you use Informatica here? That we have already seen Informatica is a leader in the area of data integration, data management, and data quality. So let's see how the architecture of Informatica works or place itself into this schema. Informatica components in data warehouses, there is also the outer layer is enterprise BI and reporting. And we have the Informatica metadata manager, something called the repository services. And we have Informatica designers. Okay. In this diagram, you see there are multiple sources and there is an ETL process. ETL process happens here. This is basically PowerCenter, okay, and ODS is again a transactional data store, which is a consolidation of all the transaction system, and from there the ETL tool picks the data and make all the ETL. ETL, as I said, is extraction, transformation, and load. Transformation means it can involve expression transformation, router transformation, and join transformation, and numerous transformation. We will see that later on. And load this moving to an analytical store. From a transactional store, data gets moved into an analytical store using an ETL tool. Again, from there, this is moved into different data marts, and the data from the data marts being consumed by the LOB systems. So I hope you understand the need for an ETL tool in the making of a data warehouse. So if you have a simple example, take an case of a bank. In the bank, you will find the visitors register, and you will find some employee operations. You will also find CRM for customer relationship, and we will see a core banking system. So what is the need? Like, these are all transaction system take care of day-to-day activities. But if I need some analytical reports, analysis, or the statistics for last 10 years, we bring all this transactional data through a staging layer or ODS system, and we move everything in a analytical format, maybe using dimensional data modeling. Then we bring everything into a data warehouse, and then we are distributing for data marts, specific business. It could be for the employee per char, then for sales data mart, then we have finance data marts. So maybe you should think in a simple terms, like in any bank, the day you daily meet, you will find different sources of the data, and you want to see how the bank operates over period of time. You will have to consolidate all the data from all the sources to a central analytical database, data store. Then you have to distribute to the focused business areas for their consumption. That's where the data warehouse and all these can be managed by some ETL tool. And that ETL tool we are discussing is Informatica PowerCenter. Of course, maybe you'll have question about what is data mart. Think about a multinational corporation, and you have many operational systems, and we have a ERP system. Maybe you have 1 lakhs of employees. So the ERP systems should manage a lot of these areas, like, for example, the employee recruitment, employee benefits, their payroll, all could be part of ERP. Their learnings all could be part of the ERP system. Then, the organization has the sales, the sales activities, sale promotions, or sale analysis and market studies, or maybe coming under the sales system. So the system has many subsystems also, and they have a lot of external integration, maybe government data, and maybe the data quality, or maybe the laws, the security aspects, or maybe integrated with the external, especially data sharing. Everything can come under the data sources. So when we have put together to a staging layer, means this is as it is, then from as it is, it has to be transferred into data warehouse with lot of transformation. Maybe the whole modeling may be different in this kind of scenarios. So maybe from a ER model to a dimensional model. So the data warehouse is so huge. Once you build the data warehousing, now the sales team, they want a dedicated data store where they can easily manage it. Okay. So from the data warehouse, take out all required data points for sales business, sales. So that is how we are setting up data mart. We don't need sales don't need anything about the HR information. So some areas they don't need it. So maybe managing that internally, they will have to do additional analysis, which is additional modeling, which is not possible with this data warehouse. So in that case, only this data marts comes into play. Okay. Then of course, from the each data mart or cross data marts, reporting can be made possible. Okay. So maybe they can expose the products, they can expose APIs. So consuming that, the other teams also can leverage the analytical aspects of it. So that's data mart. So we have seen, I hope now we have a good idea about data warehousing and data mart and the need for ETL. Okay, so now we'll understand more about ETL also in the next session. Thank you.